We're having church today. Someone excited to have church this morning? Someone, a couple of you. Come on, you woke up and got ready and you're kind of excited. So glad that you are here with us this morning. This is the last week. Can someone say last week? Before we are a family of two. My wife, she's about to have baby number 3 next week. So be praying for us as a family, for her, and the whole beautiful and painful process of having a baby and those sleepless nights and all of that fun stuff that comes along with having lots of kids. So please lift her up in prayer. And isn't it crazy? I mean, a week before she's having a baby, and look at her. Come on, can we make some noise for Beatrice? She is a legend. Welcome again to SOMOS. I'm so excited that you're here with us. Happy Labor Day weekend. If you're here, it means that you didn't go out of town, and I'm so sad for you. No, just kidding. But we're here at church, so what better place to spend our holiday weekend learning about God, getting to know some people. Actually, you came the right Sunday because we're starting a brand new series today, which we're calling Longest Title in the Whole World for a Series. But come on, can you say this with me? Are your habits making you? Oh, come on, man. You got ready for church and you're going to do like it. Are your habits making you or breaking you? Brand new series. We're going to be talking about this for the next 4 weeks. It's a 4-week series. So I just invite you to not only join us today, but for the next 4 weeks as we are learning about habits. Can someone say habits, 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 habits? Habits. Can you tell your neighbor and ask them this question? And help me preach this morning. Tell your neighbor, ask your neighbor, are your habits making you? Come on, ask them. Help me out. Ask, are your habits making you or are they breaking you? Are they breaking you? And that's where we're going to be diving into this beautiful month. So I'm going to step on your toes and I'm going to challenge you, encourage you, but mainly challenge if I'm honest, I'm going to challenge you. And I promise you as a church, we're really loving. All of us are loving, but it's kind of crazy because for the past month, we were on intentional living. Same thing, pushing to live intentional lives. And this month, we're going into habits. And I truly believe it's because God is after something in our lives. God is after us growing. God is after us enjoying our lives to the fullest of our abilities. And that is when we personally grow in every single area of our lives. And I just have to put it out there, okay? Everything that we share on Sundays, it is not from a standpoint of we know it all. It is actually on the standpoint of God is, the things that we talk on Sundays are the things that God is working on the inside of us. God is challenging me in my habits. So I'm coming to you today and for the next couple of weeks, not from, habits, got it done. Let me teach you something about habits. No, it's coming from a place that God is pushing me and challenging me, and I'm learning alongside with you. So I just want to invite you to do this journey together of growth and learning about what habits are making us, what habits are breaking us, and how do we change that so that we can truly enjoy the fullness of what God has for us. And we're going to break that down today. It's kind of like the foundation setting of this series. So we're going to learn together about habits. And one of the things that I realized about habits is that they're truly, really subtle. You don't know what habits you are doing. Habits are things that you do intentionally, but for the most part are unintentional. It's even in the definition of habits. It's things that you consistently do without being aware of that you're doing them. And it's funny because habits, you're intentional in making habits in the beginning, but then they just become a part of your life, and that's where they become a habit. So habits are really unknown. You're so unaware your habits. And it's kind of funny because this week I was at the most expensive place in the entire world, and that is Target. You go in for popcorn and you end up bringing like a lot of stuff out, and it's like, why, and I was at Target, and I was running a late night snack. My wife and I had a craving for cookie dough and pasuki and like making a big, thing. And the fun thing about, being pregnant, well, my wife being pregnant, is that I instigate the cravings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like, man, what about a barely baked cookie? Has someone ever had the barely baked cookie from Crave? If not, that's what you're doing after, like barely baked cookie at Crave. It is from heaven itself. That's not part of the message, but oh man, it's so good. But anyhow, you want a cookie, like a pasuki or something like that. And, I got through the craving, and she's like, okay, yeah, let's go and let's make this big cookie and cookie dough and ice cream and all that stuff. So I run to Target, and as I go there, I'm walking towards, because I don't know, Target from the east side where we live, the cookie dough and all the glory, it's like in the back corner at the very end, okay? Which I don't know why they do that, They make you walk for it. The ice cream and all that is the very back, So I was walking, and as I'm walking towards buying this beautiful heavenly thing, out of nowhere, it hits me. I have a light bulb moment, aha moment. I have a revelation awakening. I have an epiphany. Like, it just dawns on me that I'm really nervous. And it's just the weirdest thing. Like, I'm walking towards getting and it hits me like, I am really nervous. I'm going to buy this big thing of cookie, and I'm going to, like, pig out, on cookie dough and glory and deliciousness and ice cream, and it just hits me. I'm really nervous that we're about to grow our family, Like, in a moment, it's kind of like this moment that I just am aware that I'm really nervous, and it just dawns on me, like, all the things that I have been doing for the past 3 weeks because of my nervousness. It's the weirdest thing. I kind of like teared up a little bit, Target, like for real. It's like a crazy moment. Like, I'm on the way of buying like ice cream and cookies because I am really nervous. And I just become aware of all the little things that I have been doing for weeks. And I didn't even know that I was doing them. But in that moment, I become aware of all my bad habits that I've been doing for the past weeks. It hits me that, man, every time that I am under stress, that I am worried, that I am fearful, that I'm anxious, I have these same patterns. I have these same habits. And for weeks, I was completely unaware of it. Completely. That moment, Target, it's just like, that's why I've been going to sleep super late. That's one of my tendencies when I'm under stress or worried, nervous. Like, I go to sleep really late. Then it hits me like, that's why I've been playing dumb iPhone games. Like, that's one of my bad habits when I'm under stress. I go and download dumb iPhone games. The ones that you're just like, you can be there for hours and it's like, what am I doing? Like you're doing, like, it just hits me. It just hits me that that's why I've been having a lot of retail therapy lately. Just going to Amazon and filling up the cart and then deleting the cart and then fill it up again and looking at, like, I go into these weird tendencies where I start reading all the reviews for a pillow, for just what am I doing? I had like 10 different tabs on neck pillow support for babies on car. Like, it's just a car pillow thing for car seats. And I'm looking at like literally 10, 15 different tabs open, comparing them. Like, you're going to judge me. Like, someone like, I want to run away right now. Like, who is this pastor dude? Just crazy. I become aware that that's why I've been just craving weird things and eating stuff because I am under stress. I am in a lot of nervousness, anxiety. And I don't know about you, but what I realized in that moment, what I realized as I was studying for this message, is that our habits are like second nature to us. You don't know that you're doing things until you're doing them. And it's not only when you're doing them, it's even afterwards. Maybe immediately afterwards, weeks, months, that you're like, man, I have all of these really bad habits, toxic behaviors, toxic things that I engage with. Come on, is someone with me this morning, or I am on my own on the cookie dough here? Come on, don't leave me hanging. Like, we do certain things that make us, but then we have a whole lot that break us. And so many times it's in the moment, but for the most part, we won't see those toxic things come alive in us until weeks, months, years later. We truly don't see what breaks us, what are the habits that are breaking us over a long period of time. So what are habits? Habits, a definition that I found about habits, it's that it is an acquired mode of behavior that has become nearly or completely involuntary. It's something that's hard to give up. It is a settled tendency or usual manner of behavior. Come on, it is something that you acquire over time, and it is completely involuntary. And the best example that I can give you about this, right, is that when you first learn to tie your shoelaces, come on, take a trip down memory lane. For some of you, it's like going way back, you know. But when you were little, if you remember, you might not even remember, but I have a little one that is learning to tie her shoelaces. And it is so hard. And all of those little moments, right, like they just kind of like, I don't know, they bring me back, you know, just little glimpses of the frustration of being a kid. And you're trying to, like, how do you make a knot in the bunny? And the bunny didn't work for me, you know? And it's like, like, it's frustrating. You try, and then you tie them up, and it's not good, you know? And it is frustrating. You don't know how to tie your shoelaces, but you start doing that over and over and over again. And out of nowhere, come on, someone say with me, out of nowhere, you just learn. I don't know what is the moment when you actually like, oh, I got it. You know, like, I don't remember that moment for me. I don't think maybe you don't remember the moment that you finally were like, I finally learned. But from that point forward, you don't even think about tying your shoelaces. It comes like second nature, right? Like, you can do it while you're thinking, talking, like it just, you don't even try hard. It's a part of your life. It's a part of your routine. It is involuntary. It just happens because it is a habit. Come on, what habits do you have in your life? It's second nature. Some of you wake up and by habit, the first thing you do before you say good morning, before you put you grab your phone. You know, it's like second nature. You barely have one eye open and you're scrolling on Instagram, you know. You're half asleep, you know, but you are on social media. Like, it just comes, you don't even think, the moment that I wake up, I'm going to open social media. You don't think about it. You wake up and that's what you do. Brushing your teeth, hopefully all of us, right? It's just part of our habits. You just do it. Showering, come on somebody, showering. Like, it just comes out of second nature. It's a habit. And they're not bad habits, they're just habits. But what other habits do we have in our lives that are really toxic for us? Come on, what about anger? For some of us, anger is not a momentary thing, as something that happens that causes a reaction. For some of us, if we're honest and completely vulnerable this morning, our anger issues, they're just part of our habit. We're angry all the time. You wake up angry. You do life angry. You are against the whole world. You're driving down, I-10, and you're like, everyone's wrong. The whole world is wrong. No one knows how to drive except you. You're angry, You go to Starbucks, you're angry. You go to a restaurant, you're angry. Like, nothing's ever good. Like, you're just angry. And it's part of your habits. Your reactions, they can be a habit. Come on, have you realized that the way that you and I respond to stress or bad situations, our reactions are a habit. We always react the same way. Come on, married people, help me out here this morning. Come on, every single time that you get in a fight, you react the same way. You have the same tendencies. Single people, every time that you're like all like sad boy vibes, like watching sad, romantic movies, and you're listening to your depressing music, you react the same way. You go on this like crazy search on like people on Instagram, social media, you're like trying to see if like the woman or man of your dreams is somewhere hidden out there in the DMs, like you react the same ways to loneliness, to stress. We have the same reactions. They're just second nature. When you're worried, how do you react? When you are fearful, how do you react? What are the habits that are making you, and what are the habits that are breaking you? Come on, and for the next 4 weeks, can I just encourage you to take a real and honest self-inventory? Can I encourage you to really take a deep look on the inside of your soul, not only on the things that we do externally, but of the habits that we have internally? The way we think, we process, the way we just go about life, the way we seek direction, clarity, vision, decision making, everything that we do, also including all the external habits that are making us or breaking us. Come on, can we be honest to ourselves? Can you love yourself enough during these 4 weeks to love yourself enough to say, hey, you know what? What is it? I desperately need to change something. I cannot go on 5 more years in this same way. I cannot go on 1 month reacting the same way. I cannot go on 1 week. Come on, can we take a real inventory and make the changes that we need to make in our lives so that we can enjoy the beautiful life that God has for every single one of us? Because the reality is that the habits that are breaking you, the habits that are bad for you and me, we won't even see the real repercussions until years down the road. Like, we won't truly see them. We won't truly see how the same little thing that you're doing today, how it's going to affect you in the long run. You won't see it. It is the little things that can have a really detrimental effect in our lives over a long period of time. The same thing is with the positive. That's the good news. That it is the little positive things that we do over a long period of time that will affect you in a really positive way. Come on, if you are intentional and develop a habit of always waking up earlier and not always rushing, and you are intentional over a long period of time with just waking up 15 minutes earlier than what you do right now, how different will your life look like? If you went to sleep, and again, I'm teaching to myself here, okay? If you go to sleep 30 minutes earlier than what you do right now, how is that going to affect your life in the long run? Come on, in your marriage, in your relationship, if you're intentional that when you get home, the first 15 minutes that you spend with your spouse is not about this, that, and the other, but it's just spending quality time, checking up on each other. Come on, your marriage over the next 30, 40 years, how much beautiful it's going to look if it's only 15 minutes of intentional communication. Come on, if you start just reading the Bible a little bit, just a little bit, every single day, you're going to learn so much about yourself, about who God is, the promises that he has for you. If you spend giving God your first 15 minutes of the day and you just pray, meditate, reflect on who God is, ask him and talk to him. Imagine if you do that over a long period of time. How are you going to know God intimately to another level? Come on, if we start running 5 minutes, man, every day, over the next 20, 30 years, how much healthier are we going to be? If we add one salad a day, okay, a week, let's start, a week, how are we going to grow and be better in our health? Not maybe right now, but in our latter years. Come on, it is the little things that have a big impact in a big way. The same thing with negative. It is those little negative things that we do that if we continue doing them over a long period of time, they're going to be detrimental for your family, your spouse, the people that you love the most, for yourself. It is the little things. Come on, someone say it with me. It's the little things. It's the little things. I read this thing that if there was a plane leaving from LA going towards New York, if this plane, when they're taking off, the pilot just turns 4 degrees at either side, 4 degrees, just 4 degrees, it's going to end up in a whole completely different place. It's going to end up in a completely different place. I think it was DC. Miles away. Just 4 degrees off. And the same thing happens in our lives. If we just shift a little bit towards negative, just a little bit, you probably won't see the impact right now, but surely you're going to see it years down the line when you were trying to get to your destination of success business, success marriage, success family. And I've met a lot of people that they're in their latter years and they regret so much. And there's nothing they can change right now because it is little things that they did way back. Come on, can I encourage you this morning that it's never too late to make a shift in God. It's never too late to say, I'm going to start doing little things, little habits better that are going to have a big impact in my life. Come on, can you be encouraged and challenged to make little changes? Come on, little changes. Tell your neighbor, little changes. James 3, verse 3 says, we can make a large horse go wherever we want by means of a small piece in his mouth. And a small wheel makes a huge ship turn wherever the pilot chooses to go. Even though the winds are strong, in the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches. But a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. Come on, if a horse that is strong and mighty, we can control it with a little piece. If a big ship, we can move it by one wheel. If a plane can be controlled by a little thing. Come on, it is the little things in your life that can make a big impact. Matthew 17:20 says that if you had faith even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it would move. Nothing would be impossible. Come on, little faith. Little faith. Jesus is saying here, little faith will help you to move mountains. Little faith, like small as a mustard seed. Don't minimize the little that you have right now. Don't minimize the little things that you do right now. Come on, can we celebrate the little? We live on a day and age where we are so in love with big cars and big success and big business and big money and big things. Come on, all of that is worthless. It is the little things that make such an impact in our lives, in your marriage, in who you are. Luke 16:10 says, if you are faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest with greater responsibility responsibilities. It's the little things that make an impact and a difference in our lives. It is the little things in your marriage, communicating, opening up, intentional about affirming, encouraging. It's the little things. It's the little things in your singleness of just choosing better and not just going for anyone and everyone. Just saying, hey, putting some little boundaries. Not today, little boundary. Not today, little boundary. Deleting some apps, little steps, but come on, they'll help you a whole lot. Switching the music that you hear. You question why you struggle so much with loneliness and depression, which is a real thing, but what are you putting in? It's little things. It's the little things. You start changing the little things over a long period of time, they will have a big impact, and that goes in your career, at your job, in every single area of your life. It is the little things. It is the little things. I remember years ago, a pastor of mine, that's the thing he used to tell me. It's the little things. Just be faithful in the little. This was like 10 years ago, and I hated when he said that. Because what he meant was, hey, just work on the little things, on the responsibilities. I wanted to change the world, and I wanted to take a bite out of the world and do big things. And he was like, hey, get on time first. Just the little things, man. You want to do all of this. You can't even budget. You can't even save. You want a spouse and you don't know how to keep a relationship. You want a relationship, but you don't know how to be a friend. Be faithful in the little. It is the little things. Consistent over a long period of time, it's going to make a big impact, especially in the long run. So here goes the big question this morning. Why is it so hard to change bad habits? Okay, I get it, habits, the little, but come on, break it down, man. Cut all the blah, blah, blah. It's hard, man. It's hard to break free from the habits. Come on, you are too quiet on me. Isn't it hard to break the bad habits? It's so hard, man, to break the bad habits. We're so in love with the bad habits. We are in love with them. We can't break up with the bad habits. We can't. We can't. The cookie dough tastes too good. The tacos give me so much pleasure late at night. Come on, it's the bad things. Why is everything that tasted so good so bad for us? Right? Why are all the carbohydrates so delicious? Why? Why is anger and exploding in a second and being bitter and unforgiving, why does it kind of feel good? Why can't I change this anger that I have? Why can't I say for the love of God? Why can't I budget? Why can't I have a good relationship with my family, with my friend? Why can't I read my Bible if that's what they tell me every single week? Why can't I just live the way God wants me to live? Why is it so hard? Habits, they are a person's behavior running on autopilot. It is the autopilot that we have. And interesting research says that the brain doesn't process, analyze, and realize why a bad habit is carried out. Neurology says that the brain doesn't analyze, process, or realize why the things that we do that are bad are carried out. Why can we be transparent and vulnerable and get help and be humble and open up? Why do we have so many walls, why the explode, all of those things, like our brain doesn't register the bad things that we do. Also, another thing about bad habits, number one, it's on autopilot. The brain doesn't even register that it's bad for us. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. Even though someone has said it, even though we watch a documentary, even though we can read the Bible, our brain, it doesn't register why we do the things that we do that are bad. The second thing is that bad habits are so ingrained to the mind due to the rewarding feeling that they bring. The rewarding feeling that it brings right now, or the memory of the rewarding thing that it used to bring when the habit was first formed. So, what rewarding habits are your bad habits giving you? Because I believe if we can break up, okay, if I'm doing this bad thing that is bad for me, if I can break it up and realize that I'm doing it without knowing it's bad, like truly, because it's giving me a rewarding feeling, if we can break that apart and realize, okay, what is that rewarding feeling that is making me feel? And we can analyze it and we can break it apart and we can bring inventory to the reward feeling that it brings. I believe that we can start this little movement that's gonna be a catalyst in our lives of change for us. So what rewarding feelings does your bad habits create? Anger? You are explosive. So what's the rewarding feeling about that? The release. The release that in a moment of pressure, the habit is exploding, losing reason, losing patience, love, self-control, gentleness, effectiveness. What is the rewarding feeling? Explosiveness, the release, the feeling that we are in control. Maybe it brings back memories internally of so much hurt that you lived through, that you had no control in so many situations, and now that you're an adult, no one's gonna tell me what to do. And we explode. Now I'm in control. And it's breaking things apart and realizing, why does it make me feel rewarded in a moment? And then later you feel really bad and you regret it. I'm sorry, honey, but in the moment, it's a reward. When you're worried, science says that worry, the root of being worried and always thinking about something, it's a surreal sense of control. Worrying makes you feel psychologically that you have some kind of control. That is the reward, the sense of control. The sense that it's always in your mind. What is the reward? Come on, if you are just lonely and DMing and dating single people, you know I'm always after you. Sorry, I love you too much, okay? But if you are always just struggling with that, and that's part of your habits, just DMing, just giving up likes in the hope of some likes and more in return, like if you start just DMing what is the immediate reward feeling that it's creating in you? Feeling accepted? Feeling that you matter? Not knowing how to deal with the sense of being alone with yourself? What is the reward? Gaming. Come on, gaming. Like, what is the reward? If you are always just gaming, and it doesn't matter how old you are, like the average gamer nowadays is in their 30s. It's not even teenagers. The average gamer in the US, people in their 30s. What are you trying to escape? What is the immediate reward that you feel when you're engaging in this bad habit? The distraction of the realities and stresses of life? Come on, with lust and porn, What is the immediate reward thing that has created in your mind from something so toxic, something so unhealthy? What is it? Is it the immediate temporary pleasure? Is it the distraction? What is it? What is the reward with eating unhealthy? Like the immediate sense of gratification and pleasure, the drinking, right? The habit of just whenever I go home, I drink. Whenever I'm stressed, I drink. Like what is the reward that it makes you think? And spending money, come on, in every area. In every single area, what is the reward? Recognize the bad habits, take inventory of the bad habits, but more important, can you really take a deep look and be honest of what is the reward that I'm feeling when I'm engaging in this? And when you take a look at the reward, you are going to realize that the reward that your bad habits are creating is fake. The reward that those bad habits are creating, it's fake. It's playing with Monopoly money. My family and I, every single year when I was growing up, we would play Monopoly. I was passionate about Monopoly. We would get into fights from Monopoly. It was intense. I'm not talking, it was intense stuff. And we were playing with paper money, like fake money. We would fight and hurts from family wounds are happening because of Monopoly. Just fake money. And that's what we are doing with the rewards of the bad habits that we have in our lives. It's fake. Porn, fake. Lust, fake. Everything that you engage, fake. When you drink, you get de-stressed. Then you wake up next morning, you're more stressed. Anger, fake. Bitterness, fake. Unforgiving, it's fake. Come on, everything. It's fake. It's fake. And the interesting thing is that we are going after fake rewards. And those fake rewards, they're not only fake and meaningless, but they cause detrimental, unhealthy, and toxic things in our lives. They take you to a really negative space over a long period of time. You don't open up with someone and you're vulnerable and you bring someone in your life. You don't bring them in, you have walls and you're not honest and you don't have no one to be honest, like truly transparent. It might not be that hard right now, but man, when you get older and older and older, if it's hard for you to just be open and ask for help, like right now might not seem that hard, but over a long period of time. Anger and all the things that I mentioned, over a long period of time, it's going to be detrimental. And I just want to say something before I move to the next. And I love you so much. Okay, let's grow. But I just want to say something. If you are engaging with porn and you're married, you have no clue the damage that you're doing to your marriage. You don't even fully realize and grasp the full damage that you're creating to your spouse. The insecurities, the fear, the unhealthy things that is going to cause in your marriage, in your children, in your genealogy tree. Come on, realize the damage that it causes single people. You don't realize the damage that you're causing to yourself and to your future spouse by engaging in that little thing right now. It can deviate the course of your marriage for a toxic and unhealthy thing. The same for everything. But I just want to make sure that I communicate that because it's happening way too much. It is so normalized in our culture that I believe that there is a couple of people that can catch a different vision for their lives and say, it doesn't have to be that way. The divorce rate doesn't have to be the same in my family, in my life. The realities and statistics of loneliness, of depression, of suicide, of all of these toxic things, they don't have to be a reality with me. Why? Because I have Jesus on the inside of me. Because I have the Holy Spirit on the inside of me. Because I have a way too good God to allow me to go through the same path that everyone is going. Jesus is saying, hey, there is another way. There is a better way. Come on, can we join in faith what God has spoken about you and say, I'm going to walk that walk out instead of the walk that everyone else is walking towards fake, momentary, surreal pleasures. Come on, God has a better thing. God has a better way. God has better habits for you and for me today. Are your habits making you, or are they breaking you? 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 through 27. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step, in every little habit, with purpose. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Come on, can I encourage you for this next month to run your race, to live your life to win. To win not only right now, but to win in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Can you catch a vision of saying, I want to be successful in my business, not right now, but over all of my life? I want to catch a vision of a healthy marriage over a long period of time. I want to catch a vision of healthy friendships over a long period of time. Healthy finances over a long period of time. Healthy relationship with God over a long period of time. And that's going to require for us to discipline our bodies like an athlete, to run with purpose in every single step, everything that you do. Don't just live meaningless, but live with intentionality so that you can experience everything, not only some things. Come on, everything that God has for you and for me. Come on, small little changes that are meaningful, that are positive, that are great. And the best habits that you can pick up, this is week 1, I'll give you just 4 things, basic 4 things. What are good habits? What are 4 little things that you can start doing that will change your life forever? They're basic, they're super simple, but there are things that as you engage with them, little by little, you will see massive results over a long period of time. Come on, sometimes I'll just say this, and I'm going to ask Corey to come. We think that massive success in whatever areas we're dreaming of, we think that massive success requires massive action. If I want to change my life, it's going to require a lot. If I want to have a successful business, it's going to require a lot. Successful career is going to require a lot. Healthy relationship, we think it's going to require a lot. But the reality is that massive success means that we need to value meaningful things over a long period of time. Meaningful little things over a long period of time. Meaningful things with longevity. Catching a bigger vision. 4 things as we close. First, come on, you have to develop a habit with bringing God into your life. Come on, just bring God into your life. Can you stop doing everything on yourself, by yourself? Can you invite Jesus into your life? Not only one time, one day in a little play in the church that I said yes to Jesus, I'll follow you, but really inviting him to do life with you. When you wake up, when you go to work, when you go to school, whenever you're in a fight, come on, those are the best times when you're in a fight and you say, God, I need you. When you're in stress and you don't know what's going to happen, just in Jesus, I need you. Come on, can I encourage you to develop the habit of inviting Jesus to your life every single day? Not only one time, but every single day. Number 2, read the Bible. And I'm going to say it every single Sunday, that I'm able to have a microphone in hand and speak to you. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. Read the promises that God has for you. Read the vision that God has for you. Read about the stories and how God has moved. As you read those things, it will create such an impact in your life. And you don't have to read the whole thing. In fact, don't read the whole thing. There's some weird stuff. And I was talking to someone this week, and they were telling me, like, yeah, I grabbed the Bible for the first time, and I was reading to my kids, and we were reading the story about a baby being cut, and it's like, yeah, no, stick to the New Testament, like, just after Jesus comes, like, read that, and just read a little bit. Just read a little bit. Every single day. Bible app, Google Play, Apple Store. Download it. A verse a day will keep the demons away. Just feed yourself. Little habits over a long period of time. Can I encourage you, number 3, to just pray. Pray. What I love about prayer is that it exposes so much about us. Because we'll start praying, and that's going to reflect the way you see God. If you start, Thou Father, and you can pray however you want, but it's gonna make you aware of, like, man, I see God as this. Can I encourage you to see God as a personal Heavenly Father? Not your earthly father, because all of us fathers, we're human and we miss that. Can you catch a vision of a perfect Heavenly Father that loves you, that cares for you? And just talk to him. As weird as that might be, you do weirder things. You do weirder things than just saying, hey, God, I'm here. What's up? I don't know how to do. I want to explore you in a different way. Can you talk to me? Or what am I doing? Like, just be weird about it and just be honest and talk out loud. And the importance of talking out loud is that it brings all of your thoughts into focus. You can have a million thoughts at the same time, but you can only say one thing. So when you start praying out loud, you're bringing everything into focus. Can you ask him, talk to him? What are your needs? What are your worries? And just bring them to him. And the last thing that I want to encourage you, and it is a straight up plug in here. You need people in your life. And you don't need only any kind of people. You need people that are in the same kind of walk as you are, trying to discover God, trying to learn more about God. We're about to start connect groups. And connect groups are not just a thing that we do as a church to fill up our calendar. Connect groups are a vital part of healthy habits because we need to be okay in the tension and the awkwardness on finding healthy friendships that are on the same lookout that you and I. Come on, connect groups are happening for men, women, young adults, students. All of them happen in here except for students. That's on the fountains. But sign up and go, you need those 4 things in your life. And if you do that consistently over a long period of time, you will discover what true success is. Come on, can we close this in prayer? God, we thank you so much for who you are. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. We thank you that you love us so much to the point of pushing us towards growth. God, I pray that as we explore this question of our habits, are they making us or breaking us? Can you put a spotlight on those things that we need to change? Can you put a spotlight on those things that need urgent care? And I pray this morning, Lord, that as we approach this season of change and habits, God, I pray that every single person in this room and watching online, that we would feel your grace, that we would feel your empowering, that we would feel you guiding us and helping us through our changes. I pray that as we do all of this, God, that our lives are never going to be the same. And this morning, if you have never invited Jesus, if you've never invited God into your life, and I'm not talking only about that one moment, but maybe this is your one moment, or you haven't done that in a long time. You got distracted in life and bad habits, bad things. This morning, I want to invite you. And if that's you, everyone has their eyes closed. No one's looking. But if that's you, can you raise your hand and say, I need Jesus in my life. I need Jesus to save me, not only from eternity, but I need Jesus to save me from myself, to save me from some bad things in my life. And this morning, as you do that, we just invite you, Jesus. Come on, can we all pray this out loud? Jesus, we invite you this morning to our hearts, to our lives. Come and fill us up. Come and change us, Lord, into the beauty of the things that you have for us. We receive you, God, this morning. We receive your promises this morning. And in Jesus' name, we thank you for that. Amen and amen. Come on, are your habits making you or breaking you? Hey, I'm so glad that you made it this morning. And I just encourage you with my whole heart to envision your life in a different light. And we'll see everything that God's going to do in you and through you. But with that said, so glad you came. We have coffee. If you have questions about connect groups, next steps, if this is your first time here, over there we have a little gift for you. But with that said, love you all. See you guys next Sunday.